Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kate, or I go by Always More Sims here on YouTube. I'm sorry if I'm like a couple seconds late with that intro. My editing software is being really weird, and I have had actually the past 4 or 5 speed builds I've done. I have had a lot of issues trying to get just the voiceover to start at all. So it's kind of a struggle. We're working with it though. We will deal. I even have Adobe Premiere. I literally own it. I have a Creative Cloud account. I have Adobe Premiere, but I have no idea how to use it, and I've tried using it before when I've actually had problems with Movavi, which is what I use as my video editing software. I have tried using Premiere, and I can never figure it out, and I'm just too lazy to go look up a YouTube tutorial on how to use it. I need to though. I really want to switch to Premiere because Movavi is just, I don't know. It's what I'm comfortable with, and that's what makes me afraid of Premiere, because I know that Premiere is so much more advanced. But I really want to up the quality of my stuff, and Movavi is just not doing it for me. So I don't know. But anyways, we are back today. We are building a really big house. This is a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath house. This is called Fortunate Farmhouse. I am building it for Harry and Hermione from my Feig Legacy Challenge. They are going to be moving into this house when we start the 2nd generation and move. As I explained in my last speed build last Wednesday, I for some reason thought that I needed to have this house done by the time that generation 2 of my Feig challenge starts, which is true, but I kind of forgot that I'm actually breaking away from the Feig challenge for a generation of a Sims 4 challenge that you guys get to choose. And because of that, I won't need these houses for another 3 months. So, but I forgot that. And I was like, I have to have these by next week. Not next week, but anyways. I mean, for you guys, yeah. Practically next week, but I don't. But I forgot. And I didn't remember until I was almost done with this house that I don't actually need these super soon. I have a while before I need these houses. So I could have done the houses I was originally planning to do. But didn't. Because I thought I needed these. So, yeah, this house took me forever to build, but I actually decorated all 4 bedrooms. I decorated the nursery. I decorated the 2, there's these little, hobby rooms at the front. One dedicated to Harry, which is with his alchemy. One dedicated to Hermione with, her science. And then, oh, okay. Hi, Chloe. And then, each of the kids, so they're going to be having 5 kids named after both Harry's canonical kids and Hermione's canonical kids. Even though they did not end up together, as I have explained in my Feig challenge, I always thought Harry and Hermione should be together. I always saw the chemistry there. I never understood Hermione and Ron. I read the books forever ago, so for all I know, if I do remember right, there was some Harry and Ginny in the books. I could see Harry and Ginny, but I like Hermione so much more. So I was just always I want Harry and Hermione to be together. I am not a fan of Ron. I think Ron is kind of useless, and I think that's actually kind of the point of Ron, is that he isn't super skilled like his friends, but he's still a good friend. I'm good for Ron. I'm not a fan. So I don't know. We did Harry and Hermione. Fight me on it all you want. It's said and done. They're having 5 kids. Harry's 3 canonical children, so James, Albus, and Lily, and then Hermione's 2 canonical children, Rose and Hugo. And then I literally looked up how old they are, and I have them in age order. So it's James, and then Albus, Rose, Hugo, Lily. Or is it? No, it's Rose, Lily, Hugo. And so Lily and Rose share a bedroom. Hugo and Albus share a bedroom. And then James has his own room because he is the oldest. And I thought it was kind of stupid to put Hugo in a room by himself, because I thought about doing James and Albus since they're back to back. like Rose and Lily are, but I was like, nah. So, and then I kind of assigned them their own personalities. Like, James is going to be sporty. Albus is like a nerd. Hugo is a child. Like, well, he won't really actually be a child. Wait, no, it's James. He will be a child because he's youngest. So James is sporty. Albus is nerdy. Lily is like really girly and into like, you know, makeup and stuff. Rose and Hugo are both have like toys in their portions of the room. So, yeah. I also included like a cat tree. We have 2 different bowls because I want to give them pets. I forgot to put I wanted to put a snake terrarium in, but I forgot to do that. But yeah, this house took forever. I'm quite proud of the inside. I think the outside isn't the most attractive thing. It looks kind of bland in my opinion, but I actually decorated like every room in the house for once, so I'm going to give myself a pass on this. What else? I guess I can like do like some story times. Hey, we can do story time. I wasn't really doing story time in the last one. I was just kind of ranting. So I guess story time. So for me, it was this past weekend. For you guys, it was like 2 weeks ago now. My friend and I are both like, and I've talked about it before, like we're both huge fans of like the Minecraft YouTube community. Huge fans. She got me a Dream hoodie for Christmas because I'm a huge Dream fan. Like, he is my favorite. She loves Philza Minecraft, and I don't really watch Philza, but I have seen like some of Tommy Innit's videos with him and stuff. And like, we don't really watch Mr. Beast. Like, we watch Carl, but we don't actually like really watch Mr. Beast himself. Like, we'll watch a couple of things, but I don't really watch him. She watches him more than I do, but there's something called Mr. Beast Burger, and basically Mr. Beast has set up like this like little like fast food thing. He rents out like parts of kitchens and like pre-existing restaurants, and then you can go to some locations and pick up your delivery from these restaurants, or you can have it delivered. And they recently have a limited edition Dream Burger, and I already wanted to try it because I just thought it was like such an interesting concept. But then they came out with the Dream Burger. Okay, one, I'm a huge fan of Dream, so I was like, I have to try it. And then I saw what was on it. I'm like, Mans knows what he's doing. There were 2 burger patties, which that made me a little apprehensive. I am not much of a burger eater, but 2 patties, cheese, lettuce, double pickle, and avocado. And I was like, that sounds so good. And I told my friend about it, and see, like, we both love avocado. So, like, even if it wasn't named after him, like, when I heard about this burger, I'm like, this sounds so good. I still would have wanted to try it. So, we made up, like, this, like, last-minute plan that we were going to take, like, a 2-hour drive to, like, our nearest, like, Mr. Beast, because we don't have any, like, around us. The closest one is literally 2 hours away. We were going to take a 2-hour drive, literally just so we could try Mr. Beast Burger. And then we'll stop at a mall or something like that. And, I mean, like, wear masks and everything. Like, don't be stupid. But we were like, we'll just, like, stop by, like, Barnes & Noble, get some, like, I don't know. I actually didn't end up buying a book because the book I wanted was too expensive. And then I forgot that I put a Barnes & Noble gift card in my wallet. So I could have gotten it anyways. But we went, and then, like, her sister is also a huge fan of, like, Minecraft community, her younger sister. And so we ended up taking her younger sister too, and she got, is it the Chris style burger? It's the one with the fries on it. She got that burger. And then the Dream Burger does not come as a combo. It does not come with fries or like anything to drink. So we ordered, like, my friend and I split an order of like the Mr. Beast style fries, which are seasoned fries, cheese. Oh, there was bacon on the Dream Burger too. But the fries had seasoned fries, cheese, bacon, caramelized onions, ketchup, mustard, mayo, and pickle. And I don't like onions, so we took the onions off. And my friend doesn't like mustard, so we took the mustard off. And those were really good too. It was so good. It was worth the 2-hour drive. It was so worth it. It was so good. It was literally one of the best burgers I ever had. And like, we were actually already at the mall that it was from. Like, there were like 3 locations where we went. There were 3 different locations. One of them did just delivery, and then 2 of them did pickup. And we went to, there were like, there's like 3 malls in this city, and so we went to one of them, and because we left like really early in the morning, because I had to let somebody's dog out like really early in the morning, and then I had to be back by a certain time to let the dog out again. So I was like, we have to like, we can only be down there for like a few hours, like then we have to come back home. So we left really early. By the time we got there, it was nowhere near close to being lunchtime. It was like maybe 10:15 or so. And so we walked around like the mall, and I got some Mother's Day stuff, because Mother's Day was this past Sunday for me. And by the time we left, then it was lunchtime. And so I went on my phone to look up the address, because I drove. And I was like, wait, it says there's one like 5 minutes from here, and it's also like, and it says it's at the same place the mall's called. It's not actually called a mall, it's called like a county center is what they call it. And it says, I'm like, it says it's at this county center, but that's what this mall is called. And they're like, no way. And like both of the friend and her little sister both started coming. They're like, we don't want to get up to go back into the mall though. I'm like, I don't think it's in the food court, because we walked right past the food court and I didn't see anything about like Mr. Beast Burger. And it turns out it was in one of the Italian restaurants that was like kind of like on the outside of the mall. So we placed the order. It's like, okay, your order will be done in 15 minutes, which was 12:48. And so we waited till 12:50, and then my friend and I went in to get the food. And this poor hostess is running all over the place. And she finally, like, has a moment where she's like, can I help you? Like, how many are there? And we're like, oh, no, we're not here to eat. Like, here. Is this where we pick up, like, the Mr. Beast Burger? And she's like, yeah. What's your name? And so I gave her my name. And she's like, I haven't put the order in yet. And she just starts, like, freaking out. She's like, I'm so sorry. I'm the only hostess they have on duty today. I've been running all over the place trying to see people, and I'm the only one who can put the orders, like the Mr. Beast orders in, and get them put together and, you know, set aside for people to pick up. And I'm really sorry. I'm like, no, it's no problem. Like, we're doing okay on time. I didn't have to be home until, like, 3:30, 4 o'clock. So I'm like, we're fine. So she's like, okay, I will get it put in, and I will bring it out to you. Well, she didn't bring it out to us, but she still, like, we went in, like, 20 minutes later, and it was sitting there ready for us. And again, it was so worth it. It was so good. One of the best burgers I have ever had. It was so good. So it was a lot of fun. I wore my dream hoodie there. My dream hoodie is kind of dirty. It's gotten messy, but it's like, I am very careful when I wash it. I tried to wash it only if necessary, because it shrinks. It is shrinking. I'm like, no, don't shrink. You're like my favorite hoodie. But it's shrinking. And I was like, do I want to wear it tomorrow? It's already kind of dirty. Do I want to risk getting it more dirty? Because then I have to wash it. But I'm like, but we're going to Mr. Beast Burger to eat a dream burger. I have to wear it. And my friend ended up wearing her Filza hoodie. And then for Christmas, so she got me my dream hoodie. And then she got her younger sister, who is a huge George Not Found fan. She got her younger sister the 4mm limited edition George Not Found hoodie. So it's like black with a like the gold George Not Found written across the chest. And I actually got recognized while I was in Barnes & Noble. There was a girl that came up to me. She went, cool dream hoodie. And I went, thanks. As my friend and her sister were like right behind me. And I guess like, I mean, the little sister was not in like George Not Found colors. So I'm not surprised that like their hoodies weren't recognized, because like, again, I don't watch Filza. So if someone were to like walk around in a Filza hoodie, I probably would only know it because I'm like, oh hey, like my friend has that hoodie. That's how I would recognize it, not as, oh my gosh, that's Filza Minecraft's hoodie. And then like the younger sister, again, like it's just a black hoodie with like this little gold stripe across the chest. So I can understand like how they weren't recognized. I'm literally in a neon green hoodie with 2 dots and a line to make a smiley face. That is literally all that is on the hoodie. Like, and it's a big smiley face too. So I'm not really surprised that like they weren't recognized, but as soon as the girl walked away, the little sister turned to me and she went, well, did she recognize my hoodie? And so I intentionally turned around and went, I like your George Not Found hoodie. She was like, thanks. And then my friend was like, well, I was like, I like your Phil's the Minecraft hoodie. And she's like, thank you. So it was a lot of fun though. It was, again, totally worth it. Best burger I've ever had. I don't know how many times I can say it. What else? I mean, I had some drama a couple weeks ago. I was actually like, when am I doing my next speed build? I need to talk about this. So if you guys remember, I used to have a friend, her name was Sarah, she lived with us, it was a whole thing. I had like a couple speed builds where I talked about it. Like I was really attached to her dogs. I say no, and it's true. I am more attached, like I miss her dogs more than I miss her, which is probably kind of a bad thing, but it's true. I loved her dogs to pieces. I actually drove 5 hours to get her youngest, Brinley. I named Brinley. I picked Brinley, because she was trying to choose between Brinley and like this red, Aussie. And I was like, oh no, you need to go for like the black tri, like she's so cute. And then like she wanted to be named because her other two dogs were Bailey and Bruno, so she wanted it to match. So I was like, Brinley, it's not like a common name. I think it's a really cute name. And she was stuck between Brinley and Bella, and she ended up going with Brinley. And then like she worked so much that I basically like raised Brinley because she was always at work. So Brinley was always with me, which meant that Bruno and Bailey were always with me because Bruno followed Brinley and Bailey followed Bruno. So wherever Brinley went, the other two would follow. Even though Bailey and Brinley didn't really get along very well. But I went on a horseback riding trip, which is actually, I'm going on my break on the 25th till June 4th. Till June 4th. And the following, I'm actually leaving on June 3rd and I'll be gone till June 8th. So I'll be pre-recording like over my break, which kind of defeats the point of the break. I should just move the break, but I'm not going to. I've already I have things like set now. I don't want to just go back and like rearrange all of it. But I'm going on a horseback riding trip with the friend that I went to get Beesburger with and her little sister and like basically her whole family. I'm kind of anxious about it because I only really know her parents and her sister and then her grandparents and then her aunt and uncle, but they're inviting like so much more family. And I'm like, okay. Okay. It's okay. It'll be good. But I went on the same trip last year with just her grandma and the friend and I. It was just the three of us. Well, and then her uncle and aunt ended up tagging along, but they just kind of hung out most of the time. They didn't actually end up going with us for the most part, like to ride. So while I was on this trip last summer, Sarah started she was trying to text me, but I was out in the middle of nowhere, so it was really difficult for me to send or receive text. When I did receive text, it was like 4 or 5 hours after the text message had been originally sent. So like I just wasn't worried about my phone. I wasn't worried about text messages. I'd already explained like to my parents like, hey, this is what, like, we would like go into town for like dinner, and then I would get some like okay cell service, and I like the first night I kind of shot a text to my parents like, hey, just letting you know like the cellular service out here sucks, so I will like respond as soon as I can, or like as soon as I get the text. They're like, oh yeah, no problem, just worry about having fun. Well, Sarah had moved out like the month before I went on this trip. Well, it was actually she moved out in June. The trip was in like the first week of August. And we didn't hang out as much when she moved out. She'd taken on more work, and it was just kind of awkward after she moved out. And whenever she would text me, it always resulted in her getting mad at me over something. She would just get like really defensive or really upset. Like she'd ask for my opinion. I wasn't gonna lie to her, so I'd give her my honest opinion, and then she would get all pissy and defensive with me. So I wasn't like super, like, we'd definitely grown apart since she'd moved out. and she all of a sudden just started texting me, like, in the middle of this trip. And it was just, like, really, like, it was honestly, like, nothing that I felt I had to get back to right then, right there. It was just stuff like she was out at the shelter, like, taking pictures, and she's like, look at this puppy, or she would just send me a text like, hey, like, look at this over on, like, Facebook or something. And it was nothing of, like, serious consequence, so I wasn't worried about responding to it. I'm like, I'll get to it in a couple of days when I'm home. And all of a sudden she starts texting me like, wow, so you're gonna ignore me, like, just if you don't want to be my friend anymore, just tell me. And I was like, whoa, where did this come from? And it just kind of, it spiraled out of there, really, like, downhill from there really fast. Like, it already, like, I was like, when you're always getting mad at me, when you're done throwing your hissy fit, playing the victim, because she did that a lot. She liked to victimize herself, which drove my parents and I nuts. Like, and that makes me sound bad, because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, get over yourself. But she would use stuff as crutches, and we're just kind of like, come on, we want to help you get over it, but we can't unless you we can't help you unless you try and help yourself. And it was just a whole mess. And like, when you stop playing the victim, when you stop getting mad at me for everything I say to you, then we can talk. I'm not even in town right now. I have, like, no cell service. We'll talk later when you're done, like, throwing your hissy fit. And she just sent back, okay. And I was like, okay, that's gonna be it for now. We'll talk in a few days. I wasn't looking forward to it. This had put me on edge. And then that night, literally 2:45 in the morning, she sent me, like, this 5-page long text message through Facebook Messenger, because then she could, like, really send the long text message. And it was, I think, like, Messenger just kind of sends better for some reason than iMessage does. So she sent me, like, this 5-page long, like, guilt trip text message, you know, basically saying she wished we'd never been friends, and she regretted ever knowing me, that I was just this, like, stuck-up snob. And, like, she basically, like, hit on, like, all of my, like, insecurities and, like, threw them back in my face and just totally guilt-tripped me. And I was like, come on, this is literally, like, my last full day of my trip, and you send me this, and, like, it was a whole mess. Anyways, so that is a not-so-quick recap of kind of, like, the whole Sarah situation. And I don't know, basically, like, she still works at the groom shop that my dogs get groomed at, and I've purposely scheduled the dogs on Tuesdays, because last I knew, she was working at a vet office on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I guess that just isn't how it works anymore, because the last 2 times I've taken the dogs to the groomer on a Tuesday, she has been there. The first day, she was, like, pulling out her phone, showing me pictures, acting like it's been just, like, I'm a friend she hasn't seen in forever. And, Brindley, she got Brindley so she could mate Brindley with, like, she could breed Brindley with Bruno so she could have puppies. And so she's like, well, Brindley might be pregnant. And see, I always told myself I wanted one of Brindley's puppies. Because 1, I know both the dogs, and 2, I've always wanted an Aussie. So I was always like, I want one of her puppies so bad. If Brindley even is pregnant, I don't know. When I went back the next week, I think she could tell that I was, like, really uncomfortable and didn't really want to talk. So she didn't talk as much to me. She didn't tell me if it was, like, for sure that Brindley was pregnant or not. But, like, that first week, all she did was, like, she was showing me pictures, and she was just talking to me again, like I was some, like, long-lost friend that she hadn't seen in forever. And I just kind of stood there, and she's like, feel free to come see the dogs anytime you want. And, like, you can totally come see the dogs. And I'm like, I really want to go see the dogs, but I don't want to see you. And it's just kind of a whole mess, and it's just stressing me out. And I was actually really considering, I'm sorry if you can hear Ellie snoring. She's literally, like, right underneath me, underneath my desk. But I was really considering it, and I was like, I really want to just kind of meet her somewhere. I don't want to go to her house. I don't want her coming here, like, meet on even ground just so I can see the dogs. But then I was like, no, it's not worth, like, opening that can of worms. I miss those dogs something awful, but I really don't want anything to do with her anymore. And it was a mess. Like, the next week, I had Ellie with me, and Ellie wanted nothing to do with Sarah. She was, like, pulling against her, like, fighting her the whole way back to, like, the little, like, kennels that they're kept in during the day. Like, didn't want anything to do with Sarah. And I told my parents that, and they're like, well, they could tell that you were uncomfortable. Like, Ellie, like, she gets me. She understands. So, I don't know. It's just kind of been a mess. So, I guess that's it. I will go ahead and end this here so I don't end up going over my outro. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. My Feig challenge ends on Monday, so hurry up and vote if you have not already. The poll ends when that video goes live. So please, 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 please go vote now if you still want to stay in it. I also have my gaming channel link down in the description below if you guys like to go check that out. I would also totally appreciate it. And yeah, thank you guys, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye guys.